Yesterday, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky virtually rang the New York Stock Exchange bell, proclaiming Ukraine as a good investment.
Ladies and gentlemen, freedom has different manifestations, but the most important for many is the ability to work for your benefit, for the benefit of your children and the one of your country. In Ukraine, we are fighting for everything that you have. We stand so that every Ukrainian would enjoy all the manifestations of freedom available to a free person in a democratic society. We have achieved significant results. We have united the whole world around our struggle for freedom. We are liberating Ukrainians' territory from the Russian army. We have already started renovating everything that was destroyed by the Russian terror. We are rebuilding our economy. We are giving you and your companies the opportunity to work together with us for the benefit of all us. Ukraine is the story of a future victory and a chance for you to invest now in projects worth of hundreds of billions of dollars to share the victory with us. Today, we kickstart a large-scale promotion campaign to attract investments. Advantage Ukraine. We will tell the world why Ukraine is a place for good investments and financial opportunities. I invite you to Ukraine. Invest in Ukraine. This will be your victory and a new success story for your companies. Slava Ukraini. Start your work.
All right, so there he is saying the quiet part out loud. Americans' foreign policy rarely has anything to do with democracy, restoring peace, or liberating people from tyrannical dictators. It's all about business. There's, of course, business opportunities for the military-industrial complex, which relies on us purchasing weapons and gear to not only maintain its current employment and operation levels, but to expand them and make greater profits. But what Zelensky is talking about is beyond that. He's saying Ukraine is open for business. Ukraine and its resources are up for sale. Bring your American companies to Ukraine and make gobs of money. Billions, he says. We're begging to become a banana republic, is what he's saying. And a banana republic being a country whose government is heavily controlled by businesses, foreign businesses, and investors. Zelensky was specifically promoting a new initiative called Advantage Ukraine. He had met with the president of the New York Stock Exchange, Lynn Martin, and other business leaders virtually seeking financial investors, including for national defense, infrastructure, natural resources, and in the pharmaceutical industry. So in essence, Zelensky is enticing big money interests to come into his nation, control the government because he'll be beholden to them, sell off the natural resources like oil and gas, and force people to buy big pharma meds at exorbitant prices. So the thing is, Zelensky is actually really smart. He's figured out the true motive behind American foreign policy, and he's using it. He knows the best way to gain continued support for sending weapons and money to Ukraine is by saying, we have resources here, and you can own them and sell them. It's actually brilliant on Zelensky's part. It's terrible that this is the reality. Most Americans are against wars for profit, but most are also gaslit into believing our wars and various conflicts are not about that, but about spreading democracy and liberating people. But Zelensky knows, and Zelensky is outright saying it. So now the question is, what will governments do? Will they follow the will of the people, or will they follow the money? Now that Zelensky is courting businesses, not just here in the US, but in Europe as well, will governments do as the big money interests want and continue to support the war, even at the expense of their own people, with high inflation and dwindling resources? Or will they follow the people's will and start focusing on them and not on Ukraine? But so far, unfortunately, the outlook isn't too good for the people. Look at the protests that have been going on all throughout Europe. These are breaking out in Europe. These are people who are upset about the high costs of the energy and what's coming this winter. You can see here, this right here is in Prague. These protests, these shots are from the Czech Republic here. You can see these various different protests breaking out. They also broke out in Germany and in France as well. Here's Germany. You can see the protests there. And here is France. Very large protest breaking out in France about these about these skyrocketing energy prices. I mean, they are just not wanting to go into this war that they didn't ask for. None of us asked for this, and it is collapsing economies, crushing the people. People are living paycheck to paycheck. They cannot afford skyrocketing energy prices. And in Europe, they're talking about rationing the energy prices. I mean, it's getting really, really out of hand. But who cares, right? I mean, these politicians don't seem to care. They've made it clear that they care more about Ukraine than their own populations. Here's actually German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock. She is saying exactly that. Check this out.
I give the promise to people in Ukraine, we stand with you as long as you need us. Then I want to deliver, no matter what my German voters think, but I want to deliver to the people of Ukraine. And this is why, for me, it's important to be always very frank and clear. And this means every measure I'm taking, I have to be clear that this holds on as long as Ukraine needs me. We are facing now a winter time where we will be challenged as democratic politicians. People will go on the street and say, we cannot pay our energy prices. And I will say, yes, I know, so we help you with social measures. But I don't want to say, okay, then we stop the sanctions against Russia. We will stand with Ukraine, and this means the sanction will stay also in wintertime, even if it gets really tough for politicians.
Yeah, so there she is saying, it doesn't matter what people say. You know, if this gets tough for the politicians, because people are going to take to the streets, as they already are. She says, people are going to take to the streets. They're going to pressure us, but we're going to do what's best for Ukraine. It doesn't matter what's good for our people. We're going to do what's best for Ukraine. And yeah, she says, even if it gets really tough for politicians, well, do you know why it would be really tough for politicians? Because it's tough for the people. It's not just the people pressuring the politicians out of some sort of, just because they feel like it. They're not out marching in the streets just because there's nothing else to do. The people are taking to the streets because they can't pay their bills. They're worried about the energy crisis. They're worried about the rising prices. That's why. But these politicians, they just say they don't matter. They can get their bills paid through a game show. Check this out.
Okay, here we go. So we'll pay your energy bills. We've got £1,000 as well. So this is energy bills, I think, for 4 months if it stops on that.
Nice.
So how are your energy bills? Are you a bit worried about it all?
Major.
Yeah.
Major.
I've got one of these prepayment meters and it's absolutely murder.
Oh, God.
Right, well, let's hope it lands on one of those then.
Whatever, you're going to win some money, so don't worry. Here we go.
One way or t'other. Here we go. Round and round it goes. Where it stops,
Pay my energy bills.
knows. Da, 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 da.
Oh,
£1,000
it's
on
going
energy
down.
bill. £1,000 on energy bill. It is going to be... It's your energy bill!
Oh my God, thank you.
We're paying your energy bill for 4 months.
Oh, fantastic.
No worries.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you very much.
Oh, listen,
Wow.
well done, you. That's
I mean, honestly, the fact that there is a game show and it's either £1,000 or your energy bills for 4 months, and people are excited. Pay my energy bills. Pay my energy bills for 4 months. It's a major concern. I mean, look, people are sympathetic to Ukraine, but they're growing less sympathetic day by day. And it's because they're realizing that this isn't just a toll that is being taken, sending some weapons over, helping them out, but that this is actually really, truly impacting our day-to-day lives. And there's no end in sight. That's really why people are becoming less sympathetic to the entire war, because they're seeing that this is another endless war. This is like Afghanistan all over again. There's no way Ukraine is going to meet their goals being to not only take all of the current Ukraine that's been taken by the Russians as of the beginning of this conflict, but they want all of it. They want Crimea back. They want the Donbass back. They want everything back, and they're not going to stop until they get all of that back. Now, most rational people look at that and say, that's not realistic. That puts us in another 20-year war, the same way we were in Afghanistan. So this is not really a realistic goal, but yet it's being pushed. It's being pushed by Zelensky. It's being pushed by the elites. Now it's being pushed by the business class because they want nothing more but to be able to go into Ukraine and make a bunch of money. They were doing it in Afghanistan. They want to do it in Ukraine. And there's that promise that as long as Russia doesn't get a hold of Ukraine, then there's opportunity for big business. The United States and Europe, we have big businesses that want to go into Ukraine and make as much money as possible off of their natural resources and off of their population. That is what this war is really about. And more people are understanding that. People all throughout Europe are understanding that. People here in the United States are getting it, that this is just a never-ending war, a proxy war that is just meant to, we don't really know what it's meant to do, honestly. I mean, I guess keep Ukraine available for money making is what it seems like. Keep it out of the hands of the Russians so that they can control less and we can make more. That seems to be the goal of this conflict. Not about saving lives, not about democracy, not about tyrannical leaders, tyrannical dictators, none of that, but about making money. So, and there it is. You know, they all say the quiet part out loud. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to hit that bell, subscribe, share this video, get more eyeballs on it. YouTube definitely suppresses any Ukraine content. They kind of announced several months ago that they weren't going to be allowing it to be really out there front and center as much. So fewer people are covering it, but it's important information for people to understand why is our economy the way that it is? What are our leaders doing about it or not doing about it? So be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.